All right, so this is going to be part of the Camaro playlist. I'm going to go through, do an introduction, how I acquired the car, the plans for it, because I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and although they're informative, a lot of the times when people are doing stuff like changing spark plugs, changing a filter and all this stuff, they have a 4 to 5 minute intro video and 30 seconds of actually what they needed to do. So I'm gonna get all that stuff, how I acquired it, the history of the car, done in this video right now. And that way, when I'm going through and explaining what I'm doing, how I did it, any hiccups or snags, I'm not going into the big old history of the car and everything. So without further ado, here it is. This is my 1981 Camaro Berlinetta. I think it's Berlinetta. Any Camaro guys, Camaro crew, women, anybody and everybody, let me know if I butchered that. But yes, this is it. 1981 Camaro Berlinetta. As you can see, I've already started ripping it out and tearing apart the interior. The plan is to do a full rebuild from start to finish. I am going to take out the engine, I'm going to take out everything, repaint it, repowder coat it, the whole 9 yards. So my wife, you'll meet her in future videos, she runs a business, and I was helping her with part of her business, and I just so happened at the location I was helping her at, this car was sitting on a gentleman's land, and it's been sitting there for 20 plus years. The last time that these tags were registered was back in 2004. So it's been sitting outside for 20 years. If I can figure out how to add the photos to the video, I'll do it at the end so you can kind of see what the mess was I started with. But I'll kind of point it out the best that I can. All in here, back behind the distributor, back behind the air filter, back behind the master cylinder and all the brakes, pine cones. Pine cones, pine cones, pine needles, and anything squirrels and mice and rodents love to pack in here. Same thing over here. I've already removed the battery, but yeah, pine cones, pine needles, just anything and everything that you could get back here was shoved there, was shoved back over here, was shoved down there. And needless to say, it was a blast just getting rid of everything. Not really, because I had to make sure that I wore proper filtration, like air masks, and I'll just show that real quick. While I was cleaning it out, I was wearing this thing, glasses, gloves, the whole 9 yards, just to make sure that I was being safe with everything. So the interior was completely full. Pine cones, more pine needles, the foam and stuffing that they ripped out of all the seats. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. So as you can see right here, I've got it ripped out. I have it ripped out. Almost have all the interior stripped, minus the headliner of the dashboard. I still need to remove the foam off of this seat, and you can see the squirrels and mice and anything that was in here. They tore the shit, sorry for the language, they tore the crap out of the headliner. I will work on not swearing as much, sorry YouTube. But so yeah, that's it. The next biggest thing I'm going to see if I can have a buddy come over and help me out with is taking the hood off, taking the fenders, removing the glass, so that way I can go in and remove the old audio system. So that's kind of the background of this project. I'll go through real quick. The motor is a 3.8 liter V6, one of Chevy's, in some opinions, better motors. I haven't had any personal use with this motor. My plan is I'm going to put a 350 or a 383, depending on what I'm going to use it for, mainly daily driver. So a 350 will probably be enough for me. And then I'm going to be replacing the 3-speed manual transmission with a 5-speed manual transmission. And then I might update the gauges just a little bit, because it looks like my speedometer gauge is broken and I have a 1/4 tank of gas, and I think I might modernize it a little bit. I plan on keeping this car for a while, and then I'll hand it down to the kids, because altogether my wife, I have my 2 daughters, and then my wife, she has her son and daughter. So yeah, we're one big old happy family. I got a lot of work to do on this car. I took the door liners off. Like I said, the interior is pretty stripped. I still have some rat poison packets around, as you guys can see, because I don't want that stuff getting in my house, because they're nasty. They are great outside, and as long as they're not in my house. So, but yeah, that's kind of the gist of what's going on. Another fun place where that plastic screen is removed, back in that corner, back in that corner, full of pine cones, full of pine needles. It was fantastic. I got a vacuum down there, and I was just pulling up nesting material, grass, and everything. So that is the gist of it. I'm gonna pop the trunk if I can find a screw. Also, real quick, I'm in the midst of finishing a garage. I have a little bit left to do, but since I am here in Kansas, it's 95 degrees and 1,000% humidity. Okay, not 1,000% humidity. It's not fun working out in the garage, especially when it's not insulated. And ironically enough, my garage ceiling up there, not a single bit of insulation above it. It's just drywall and trusses, and then the shingles, and the sun just beats down on it all day. So it's really hot in here. But yeah. So I'll just show you the seats real quick, I guess. These are the original frames of the seats. I did contact an upholstery guy that's local here in Wichita. And he said it's best to try to straighten out the metal frames for the seats as best as possible. I don't know. Like I said, this is my project car. I'm going to attempt to do everything myself. I'm going to strip it down. I'm going to sand it. I'm going to attempt to paint it. The only thing that I'm not doing, since I plan on daily driving this, is rebuild the motor and transmission. I am going to save up and buy that stuff crate and brand new. Just because I plan on daily driving. I plan on having it for quite a while. So that's the plan. I'm going to remove the trim. Like I said, remove the windows, replace and fix everything. And the nice thing is, the frame is great. Just a few minor holes in the body panels, a couple in the driver's floor. There's one in the trunk. Should be able to go and weld those without too much. And I'll show you one of the holes real quick. So right there is a nice 1/4 size hole, and then I got some holes right there. I'm assuming this stuff up here and back there. So I'm going to probably cut a good chunk of those out and re-weld and replace them. Yeah. And also, I'm going to be getting a new wiring harness. I've already done a lot of shopping and looking around. Classic Industries is where I'm going to source probably 90% of all the parts that I need. And then the wiring harness, I'm going to go with Painless wiring harness, because they have a direct factory match, plug and play, go. Plug it in, route it, and go. And then one other thing I'm going to do is to this as well. It did not come factory with AC, so I will be putting AC in. I will be learning kind of that stuff too. I think that is probably going to be good for the introduction of behind the car. The next kind of videos you'll see from me is time-lapse videos of me tearing it apart, and I will give brief, hey, this is what I did for this video, these are the problems I ran into, and yeah, I'm gonna keep them short and sweet and informational, so that way if somebody needs it for advice, they don't have a long 45-minute video or 20-minute video or however long just to get to the point. So I hope, like I said in the intro video, hope people find this fun. Hope people find it entertaining. Fun, entertaining, same thing, I guess. And if anybody wants to leave comments for, hey, watch out for this, hey, look out for this, I'd be more than welcome to take your advice and take the comments to help me go with this process. I foolishly told my coworker that I'd get it running and done by end of May of 2026. Let me know what y'all think in the comments if that is a kind of respectable timeline. All right, peace out, YouTube.